Hi, it's me again. Okay, sorry. As you can see, I'm still in the tent. I don't know if you can see it. See those little tiny little white spots that look like stars? Isn't that so cool? I love it. I put a tarp over the top of my tent. And this particular tarp that I have is a dark one and it has holes in it. And because of the holes, it makes it look like stars. So in my afternoon nap, I get to sleep under the stars. Okay. Who knows if this will get published, right? So last night, in the middle of the night, or at some point, I looked at my phone and I saw a message from Say, and I just want you to know, I'm gonna message you back today. I am. Trying to get some stuff done. Of course, it's not the stuff I need to do, but that's not entirely my fault, because the stuff I need to do, one, is in a room where someone's sleeping, and two, the other stuff is in a room right next to where someone's sleeping. Can't do anything about it right now. So I'll just do some yard work. It does need to get done. Means Dad won't do it. So that's a good thing. Meaning if I do it, Dad won't do it. Yeah. Anyway, so again, I don't know if I'm going to publish this video or not. But I keep looking down at my sock. It's a compression sock. Look at this. Look at this, Say. It's compression socks. Dude. They don't have to look like old lady socks anymore. Okay, sorry. Although I was thinking about it. I really was. I thought, well, couldn't you make them look like, like the boots? Compression socks with like a cover over them to make them look like boots. Right? Right? That'd be cool. That'd be cool, wouldn't it? Yeah. Anyway. So I'm putting these on so I can, get the yard work done. But first, I just wanted to say, so hopefully I will publish this, just because I really got to get back into the swing of that. If nothing else, just letting people know I'm alive still, because I've gotten messages outside of YouTube and stuff like, are you still alive? I don't see any videos and stuff. And I'm like, oh, you watch my videos? I didn't know that. Woo! I'll never be popular, but I really should be, because that's the way people listen when you're popular. But oh well. Anyway, so the reason I'm leaving this particular message, my purpose for it, I suppose, one, I'm going to try and start staying more theme-wise. I know I bounce around to all kinds of different topics, and that's just because of my brain's need to share the information. What about this? What about this? Someone might happen to hear this video and think, oh, that's interesting. It's a little hook that grabs them. But in order to get that little hook out there, I got to say everything all at once. Anyway. So, there are a couple things I want to cover in this. One, I want to tell you about my dream. Yeah, it's going to be in the story that I'm writing. It's just a little short story that I'm writing. Hey, that says L wide calf. This is supposed to be an extra large wide calf. That's why the design gets stretched. That's one of the reasons I hate these kind of socks. They look so cool, and then you put them on, and the skeleton's like this. Why? And not a cool bleh, but a stretched. Because you got fat legs, that's why. Remind me I have fat legs. Anyway, actually, they're not that bad. So it really is annoying when they get stretched like that. Like, look. Alright, look, if I was like Rotunda, okay, walking around, alright, I could see that. But I'm not! Anyway. So, the dream is the one thing I want to say. And then the other thing, pink. Hopefully I'll remember to get back to it. There's a reason I say that, though. So maybe I'll just do the pink thing first, so I don't not do it, because I want to do the dream. I'm excited about the dream, even though I'm not going to explain it very well, I'm sure. But I'm excited because it's just another one of those moments where, you know, my brain's done this before, where it'll show me something in a dream and I'll be like, oh wow, that's cool, and then a couple days later it'll happen in real life and it'll be like, oh, that's interesting, you know. So it's just kind of cool. There's something real about it, like, you know. I know it could be just my subconscious, because of course I don't remember everything from like my childhood, you know. So it could be my subconscious remembering something as versus my conscious, right? Anyway, but I'll get back to that. So this is one part of the story that I'm writing. In church, of course, the best place to just start letting your mind wander, right? I mean, that's what always happens. You're not supposed to, but that's exactly what happens. Your mind goes everywhere. So, talking about these stained glass windows, which is weird because in the I can't, for the life of me, I cannot remember what they look like in the dream. I keep wanting to say that I keep seeing flashes of other stained glass windows that I've seen, but that's not what I saw in the dream. I feel like I want to say they were just colors, just blocks of color, not like squares and rectangles kind of blocks, you know, different squares and rectangles. Some of them a little angled, you know. Nothing's perfect kind of look, but they're all different colors. And that's not it either, especially because in the dream I described that there were roses in the stained glass window, bordering around it, as well as some in it, but none of them were pink. Yay! None of them were pink. What? Sorry, I'm just not a pink person. But here's the funny thing. So I was thinking about it. And yeah, I do say this a little bit in the story too. I finally admit to it. Alright, so I was thinking about it. I hate pink. I just do. Princesses and pink and all that girly stuff. No. You see me. You see me, okay? Yes. But what if when I was a little girl I did like pink? See, something happens sometimes, like a trauma, whatever. And it causes our brain, even at a young age, to kind of turn inward on itself. And when that happens, that overfocus starts happening, that over-functionalizing starts happening, which, for anybody who's remembered any of my past videos, the functional side is the dying side, is the death side. And for anybody who's actually seen my video, or have not seen my videos, let me just tell you, when it comes to us, life and death are, ooh, scary and yay. But to our brain, they're just processes. One side of the zero versus the other side of the zero. Not positive, not negative, just processes. So when I say the functional side is the death side and the emotional side is the life side, it's simply processes. But because of that, the more over-focused that we become, a lot of times you've noticed people tend to be more negative, more down to the dead side, right? Right. So now you can kind of see a little bit of proof on that one. So let's say I suffered a trauma when I was a kid, which I did. And I got my brain searching, more focused than it was supposed to be. Which then, as I said, the death side got me more interested in the death side of life. But originally I started out liking that other word. What if, right? How many things can you think of that, you know, maybe generally speaking, you probably should, you know, like, I mean, not to be all cliche and everything, and definitely stereotype and all that, but girls like pink, right? So you look at me being a girl and I should like pink, right? And yet, what if? What if there's a lot of people out there that have something that maybe they shouldn't have a problem with, and yet they do? And it's something that's happened because you went to the dead side first for a while there, trying to figure something out. Maybe still there. Who knows? Whatever. Just a thought. Anyway, the other thing was the dream. And my phone is reminding me that the temperature is heating up in it. And that means what? That. Okay. So, okay, I'm not going to go into the whole dream, just the basic stuff. So at one point, the character finds these mushrooms, which the crew says is fine to eat. You know, in the Amazon. Sorry, I should clarify this. Let me create the setting. It's one of the Amazon dreams. Now we're in the Amazon on a, not a safari, whatever, expedition, whatever you call that. Secret expedition. And there's mushrooms. And the crew says, yeah, those are good to eat. That's fine. Well, the new craze is mushroom coffee, right? So she thinks, hey, I'm going to make mushroom coffee. And she does. Well, the problem is those particular mushrooms are growing right next to a tree that has stuff in it that's maybe not so good for you. So she's drinking this coffee, and all of a sudden she's kind of right? And you're not trying to be weird or anything, but you're looking around, and back there's a tree, and it looks it's a little coarse looking, but not too coarse looking, just right for something, right? Yes. Back up into the tree, and we're... Of course, people look up at that point, and they're like, you know, you gotta hide it, like, look for the bare necessities. So she's in the dream, started singing, you know, and then stopped. Didn't sing the whole song or anything, just like a little line or two from it, you know. But oh my gosh, this itch is getting worse, and it's just like, oh my goodness, and oh gosh, yeah, the front and everything, right, all around the tree. Until now, of course, in the dream, this actually turns more of a sexual thing, which for the story, I'm gonna change it up. I've got some ways to kind of make it still real, according to some of the other dreams I've had, to use some other stuff from them. So it'll still be dream stuff, but without all that extra there. But anyway, well, then all of a sudden, someone says, you better stop that. In fact, get away from that tree. Because if you look at the tree, all of a sudden it's weeping this white substance. Now, originally, if just drank the mushroom coffee and left it at that, it would have been a bit of an itchy situation, and maybe a little bit of Benadryl would be all right. But rubbing up against it directly, yeah, that's a problem. This is how this is explained. Let me see if I can remember. I've got it in my phone. When it's explained to her that not only it's like poison ivy, right? But it's 10 times worse than poison ivy, this itch. And the way it's explained is, I once saw a guy afflicted by this itch jump into a river and start rubbing up against a crocodile while another crocodile was eating him. That's how bad this itch is. Oh my gosh. It gets in your brain. It's pretty strong. I mean, a crocodile is eating him, and he's still rubbing up against the other crocodile. You know, it's just right. So, but it was funny because the next day, I think it was the next day. Yeah, the next day, I'm sitting there, and I'm watching TV, and all of a sudden I think it's called Jack Hanna's Passport. It's just a show. Dad was watching TV, and I went and watched TV with him for a few minutes. And they're showing this tree. And everything's exactly the same as the dream. The way it weeps, everything. The only difference is it's poison versus scratchy. That's the only difference. Now, when I was having the dream, because my brain likes to let me know sometimes why it's doing something in particular, or later on, maybe it was later on, I was questioning something about, anyway, my brain will let me know sometimes something. Do you remember the movie, or ever see the movie, The Gods Must Be Crazy? Do you remember the part where the two guys are, I think they're sitting under a tree playing cards. They're not supposed to be playing cards. They're supposed to be watching the kids, you know, because they're the bad guys. They've kidnapped these children, right? And, but instead of watching the kids, they're hiding underneath these trees and playing cards. And like obsessed with playing cards. Like constantly you find them trying to do this. And the leader keeps saying, if I catch you doing that again, you will be dead, you know. Well, at one point, I can't remember exactly how it happens. It's been a while since I've seen the movie. But I think the good guys somehow like shoot the tree or shake the something. And it gets, this stuff starts dripping on them. And it makes them scratching. Oh, you know, they're rolling all around the ground trying to scratch themselves because this stuff makes them itchy. So that little scene just a little flashed in my brain, like, oh, that's why that looks familiar. The dripping from the tree and everything, all that stuff that was happening in the dream. Because at some point when somebody was explaining it or whatever, you know, it's like you visualize this tree dripping on these mushrooms growing down below, you know, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, that's how it got on there. Which actually, that's not how it did. It just kind of grew the roots or something, actually. But my brain flashed to that, so yeah. So I was like, oh, okay. So that's where I'm getting this whole thing from. I'm getting this whole part of this dream from because when I was a kid and I watched that movie, The Gods Must Be Crazy, that's where those pieces are coming together. And here's why my brain decided to pull this out of nowhere. I got poison ivy. Now, I started taking the steroids. Of course, the doctor said, continue taking them, right? And I was going to be a good girl and continue taking them, but I lost them. Between the whole move to go out to the tent, back and forth, and I mean, my clothes are inside, they're outside, they're upside, they're downside, they're in the basement, they're in the bathroom, they're right outside the bathroom. I mean, my stuff's everywhere. I've got this great big cooler bag that I now carry around with me that I'm trying to keep all my medicines and vitamins and books and notes and charging cords and, you know, anything that I need that could be important to me from one spot to the next. It's like, this is my traveling bag, you know. Don't feel badly for me. I asked for this myself, and I deserve it after all these years. Again, you think I'm such a nice person. I'm not. Or I wasn't. Oh, I wasn't. I will say, it meant a little bit to me. My sister and I chatted yesterday. I went to this birthday party. And I wanted to tell my one cousin about my dream, because actually on that Hilton Head trip, we were in the back of the car talking, and I was telling her some stuff about the dream. And she was like, oh, that's really cool. I want to hear more. I didn't get to tell her more, so I thought it would be kind of cool to tell her this dream. But I didn't get to. Maybe I'll send this. I don't think she knows my YouTube thing. I even have her phone number. I have the other girl's phone number, but I don't have hers. Anyway, I really wanted to tell her about it, but I just couldn't. My brain kept trying to tell me to go back to the car, go back to the car. Just 'cause. Don't need to be here. Don't need to be here. But luckily I was able to say, yeah, I'm here. I'm good. It's the biggest reason why is because I can't stop talking about the theory, right? Every time somebody brings something up, I start talking about it. I mean, it's very difficult. Yes, it's called obsession. No, it's not a good thing. But even when it's, you know, I know a lot of people would look at it and say, well, it's a bad thing. It's a bad thing. What you're obsessed about is a bad thing. Well, not necessarily. But the reason why the obsession is happening is because what would make sense to your brain as to what should happen, isn't happening. And so this isn't making sense. No problem on homework. I believe they have this whole week to... Oh, good. Okay, good. Sorry, message from Benji's teacher. We didn't get homework done. Between the funerals and the birthdays this weekend alone, we didn't get homework done. So I called his teacher, I messaged his teacher and let her know and said, if we could have an extra day to work on it, that would, we could do it. We'd be fine. So she said actually they have the week to work on it. Yay! I'm so glad. That helps. Anyway, so I just wanted to share that though. At the birthday party, I did get to talk to my sister for a few minutes. Sure, I'd be like voluntarily, it's tough. Like I said, you think I'm such a nice person, but you don't know or didn't know the real me years ago. Selfish sister. And some of that's true. Like, some of that's supposed to be me, but it not in the manner that it's become. It's just like it's okay to be selfish, just like it's okay to be selfless. It's, it's the over selfish or the over selfless that's the problem. Well, I'm supposed to be a little selfish when it comes to certain things, but it's that overage that would happen that made it not so good. I mean, I'm getting what I deserve. Trust me. Yeah. But it was nice. It was very nice to chit-chat with her. Like, I almost wanted to message her and tell her thank you. It's funny, because when I was preparing for this, I've got a little laundry in, right? And I was downstairs putting a little laundry in, and I was preparing for this video at the same time. Like, okay, I gotta try and stay on topic. And I started thinking about my dad. I was gonna mention something about my dad. A cleanse. I'm gonna try and do a cleanse with him this week. Anything to try and help get the weight down. I know it's not going to be perfect. I know it's not going to do a whole lot for him, create miracles or anything, but, I'd like a little time with him. Darn it, now I'm going to cry about that. It was funny, though, because I'm standing downstairs in the basement, and I'm doing the laundry, and I started thinking about, my dad, and, of course I have to whisper because there's people right above me sleeping. And I got verklempt. And I was like, okay, I'm verklempt. You have to talk amongst yourselves. I'll give you a topic. Dads and how really they're moms, but in disguise. Anyway, yeah. So, but I don't think no, I'm going to cut that out because I'm not going to cry. No, that's silly. I'm not going to cry. And then no, I don't have to cut it out. I just don't cry. But then I ended up cutting it out. But then I ended up talking about my sister. So then I ended up crying. So now, okay, I'll throw Dad in there too. Gosh. Sometimes it's just so fun, right? Anyway, here we go again with another one of my long videos, 20 minutes long. I just thought of something else I wanted to say. Maybe I won't publish that video, though. I don't know. I'm going to try. We'll see. This is the end of this one, though.